All right, here we are. Again, this is for no purpose other than just for me to play around with Restream. So you're not going to hear anything interesting. If you want to watch, by all means do, but don't expect anything. All right, what I'm doing right now. Ooh, is checking the lag, which there's about that much lag. Like the LinkedIn live stream just started. It's about 40 seconds of lag between when I hit go live and then when I saw it on LinkedIn. YouTube, I believe, is about the same. Although, might not hurt to check. Let's see. Here is this, which says live now. All right. And let's see what the lag is on YouTube and go. There it is. Okay. So that much from go to where I said there it is. So a little bit of lag, but not much. So if you see, whoa, by the way, mute those other tabs. Whoa, man, that's weird. Okay. There was one person watching, and I think, yeah, that was just me. Okay. Good. All right. Where did it go? Video quality is an interesting thing. I think we're pretty good right now. Yeah, I had that streaming the other day when I was messing around with it at 480p, and that was pretty crunchy. Right now we're at 720, which is better. Let's see if I can change it while we're in midstream here. Looks like it'll let me do it. All right. Yeah, I couldn't see it at first. I could see it now. Yeah, that's a marked difference. Oh, hi, Sam. Yes, I am. I am just literally mucking about, messing around, just kind of playing with things over here. Let me see if I can fix this back. I had the video quality lowered to 480. Let me put it back to 720. Okay. I don't like mirrored cameras because when I record, yeah, you should. Sam, have you ever used Restream? Have you ever been on a show with it, or have you played around with it at all? I'm going to flip the mirroring back. Mirroring is one of those things I always try and turn off because since I do a lot of recorded and shared videos, this is the way it appears with my window over here and all that. So I try not to mirror my videos because I want it to look the way it really looks. Oh, never done it. It's pretty cool. I mean, a lot of the folks that I've played around with live events with, they're all using Restream. So that's how I ended up deciding to check it out too. I spent a little bit of time looking into a few others. I looked at StreamYard very briefly. I looked at Riverside very briefly. I like them both, but Restream seems to make more sense to me because we've got more people on the platform using it. And since there's so many people using it, I feel like it's going to be easier to find help. Let me deek. Look, I can do this. And no, let me quit. Turn that back off. What am I trying to do? Okay. Where is this? Is one of the things I have to get used to is being a little more comfortable with where all the buttons are. Ooh, here's something fun I can do. Let me. Where is it? So here's a shared screen. So you can see exactly what I'm looking at. Wow. So it gives you that, infinite. That's almost distracting. What's kind of need something to maybe make that a little less blinding. Oops. It is just me looking confused. Oh, let's blah, 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 blah. Oh, it's Rebecca. I couldn't on the Restream side, Rebecca. It's not showing me your name. It just shows LinkedIn user. If you could see that over there. So I have LinkedIn open on my other screen so that I can check and see what's actually going on. I'm just messing around, trying to get comfortable with this because eventually in a little bit over a month, I'm going to start doing this more seriously. And when I do that, I don't want to look confused anymore. There's a lag between what I'm saying and recording and what you see on the broadcast side. So that does create a little bit of trickiness with the comments. They will come in on my side, I think, pretty quickly after you type them, but then my responses, I think, take a while to get over to you. Sam, there's nothing wrong with being nosy. One of the reasons I did this is to let people be nosy. Why not? People talk about building in public. Sometimes messing around like this is something you don't get to see this behind the scenes stuff about what are people doing, how are they figuring this out. So I thought it would be fun to show some of it. On this, you can do a whole bunch of changes with like overlays and stuff on this, right? You can make it pretty. You can make it where past Valentine's Day, aren't we? That should be like Shamrocks or something now. Well, Restream says Valentine's Day is still happening. Okay. You can have those overlays once you upgrade, which I probably will pretty soon. Sam, what's up? I'm just messing around. It's, I'm doing this thing that I did at night not long ago, but right now I'm doing it during the daytime. Partially because this is the actual time slot that I will like literally be doing something serious. And so I decided to muck about during the day at this time. Also, I was kind of curious who might be around and who might pop in. And I like the results so far. Are any of you interested in jumping on this video with me? I could send you a link. And I would certainly welcome a co-host for this bunch of nothing that I'm doing. Okay, that's back. I wonder if I have anything more interesting I could show you. Let's see. Oh, work is boring. Where are you? Elijah, what's up? Elijah, I was just saying if anybody wanted to jump on, I could shoot a link over. I'm not doing anything serious right now. I'm just playing around. Partially, I did this as a way to just test setting up an event through Restream. So I created the event last night through Restream. I made the banner in Canva. I wanted to make sure that the sizing on that banner came out right, so that like once I actually shared it to LinkedIn and it was published, if it would look the way I wanted it to look. And it did. It was like spot on. I used I think I Googled the resolution for a LinkedIn event banner and I got whatever numbers I got. And that's what I used. Wonky cameras and choke. Wait a second, Elijah. We're about to see lag time on how long it takes for Elijah to send that message, me to read it, and then copy and paste to him. There it is, Elijah. I sent it to you, and then we'll see how long it takes, and I'll forgive Rebecca for her wonky camera. I mean, although, like, I watched a lot of TV in 1985. Like, it would be like some nostalgia. It could work. Oh yeah, so I was saying, I got the dimensions for a LinkedIn banner for a live event off of Google, and I used that in Canva to create the banner for this event on those dimensions, and it worked out perfectly. Like it fits exactly right. I got lucky because the Restream watermark like sits really in the mountains on that, so that's kind of fun. The interesting thing too was when I created that event, it also created a post. Text for the post was literally, "Hey Elijah, come on in here." The text for the post was exactly the description for the event description. And Elijah, I was just saying when I created the event for this, I hit submit or whatever, I forget what the button says on Restream, and sent it there. And then it also created a post from my LinkedIn account and posted that at the same time. If I had known that before I did it, I would have written the description better. Like it was just like blah blah blah, I'll be messing around. But now it's a post that is garbage, and it went out at 10 o'clock or whatever. Anyhow, how are you?
Good. It's I'd love to hear about amazing garbage at 10 p.m. because that's what everybody loves. That's fine. it's all good. It's doing all right. So we're just talking about what's the void? Is that because you're in looking at a camera and then the Restream is there and then everything kind of goes into a mirror effect, or is that, do you
Oh
see that?
yeah. So you're seeing the Restream interface and everything right now, right?
Yeah, when I was on, I'm just looking at the, I don't know, live video that I have on screen, but on the app through the LinkedIn app, it went to your live, and then it had some sort of effect where I was in a void of nothingness of
Yeah, that was
amazing.
the infinite mirror. So I did a share screen because I did this once before when I was
Yeah,
mucking about like this because I thought it'd be fun to let everybody see what we're seeing on our side. And actually, I'll turn that back on. So if I share my screen and show, where is it? Let me see. So this is the live studio, right? If I share this, you're seeing my screen
oh,
and
that was good timing.
there is a private chat feature, as everybody now knows.
Found it.
Um, yeah, but so since everybody's seeing my screen, they're seeing my screen, which is seeing my screen, which is seeing my screen, seeing my screen, seeing my screen.
That's cool.
So it's kind of trippy, When I was
Yeah,
a kid, I remember going into the bathroom and we had this like huge mirror over the sink, and I would get the little handheld mirror and like stand there in front of it and try and angle it and see how far I could see. This is like
right.
that same kind of thing.
Is-
Um,
If you had a chance to play with StreamYard or others, is this similar, or are they all the same?
I haven't played with it much. I did kind of just I did some reading about it. I read some articles where people were comparing them.
Mm,
It's like a lot of these apps. There are plenty of StreamYard fans. There are plenty of Restream fans. Riverside is another one that a lot of people like. And there are a few more. I didn't get too far down the rabbit hole because the strongest factor for me became that on LinkedIn we seem to have so many people who are already using Restream.
yeah,
So while I don't always go with the flow, it seems to make sense to go with the flow on this one because I feel like
it
if I
works.
do, yeah, it works. Like I mean, Trevor uses it for thus, and that's going really well. I know Chris Hennessy likes it and teaches people how to use it very well, and the people who learn from him do well.
Mm, cool.
So there's a community kind of here too, where if you need some help figuring something out, I think there's a lot of people you can plug into.
Cool.
Yeah.
I used OBS back in the nerd days when I actually had to have a stream link, and none
Mhm.
of this. You just connect to a profile and poof anymore. None of this nonsense because I'm old, I guess. Had to. That was where you had to click and point everything and set up. Okay, my screen's here, and my desktop's here, and my shares here, and little windows and compartments, and it's almost like a TV studio, director sort
Oh,
of thing, where each individual component can be controlled like to a minute level, which is insane. But here, it's nice just to have that go and just click and boom, you're off. Do you care about the Restream logo at the top? Does that bother you, or
it
am I?
doesn't for now because I'm not there yet. Pretty soon I'm going to be at a point where I'm going to upgrade so I can get rid of it. I'll put. I've got at least one show in the works that I'm going to do. It'll be this is playing around, but it'll be serious. So I'll get some branding on there.
Sure.
But for now, I'm several weeks out from that still.
Okay.
So no need to. No, I don't know if you've heard him talk about it, but Adam was talking about that. He's either using or getting ready to use OBS, and he's going to use it and then I think go through Restream with it somehow.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, he has I guess he can play with his green screen in the back. He has a little component, or you can select a box for the green screen and then bring all the video
Yeah.
content in and get I don't know,
Yeah, there
sign.
was something about that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's fancy.
I mean, I have a green screen, but I rarely hang it up and I don't want it up regularly. I'm kind of
Plants
tight in here as it is.
plants are cooler though. And the sword, I think, from
Right. Yeah.
1600s. Yeah, that's pretty neat.
Yeah. Yeah. The 1600s. I can't think of a joke that'll make that work. I'm trying to think about 1600 and Amazon and how to tie that together, but I got nothing.
Nothing HR friendly for me. I'm going to offend your audience, and I'm just here to add sidekick support so you can figure it all out.
Hey, sidekicks are important to have. I mean, you'll probably at some point you're going to be a more serious sidekick from me because I got this show coming up and it's going to be about coaching. I mean, you're doing a little bit of that, right? Working on teaching people how to do podcasts, right?
This year, trying to take professional.
Okay.
Doing that and doing a bunch more lives because that's fun and people are excited. And I know some partnerships, getting out there and just doing this stuff, just
Yeah.
figuring it out and doing it, and trying to be at the level Sam is, where she does one like every 3 times a day or something nuts. But what can
Sam,
you do?
how many have you done today? Probably two already, at least, right?
It's insane. Yeah, it's good for her. Do you have time for this? Yeah, I love podcasts. I love audio, but you got to get out there and video because people have attention spans like gnats, and some people don't always love just listening to stuff. They want to hear this face for radio. It's whatever you can do, right? It's all good.
Yeah, yeah. And so since you're
Uh-oh.
into podcasts and know, I'm sure, tons more than I do. I know very little about podcasts. Do you think that there is an ideal length of podcast, or is that kind of it just depends on too many factors?
Your audience is key. If you're hitting multitasking audience like LinkedIn, you could either do a 5-minute snip of answering questions like some Scrum Masters do on YouTube. They just answers one particular question, talk about it for 5 minutes, and off they go. So you have a little snip of something every day you can level up and get out back to your Scrum or project manager stuff in that whatever buzzword it is. I like 20 to 30 minutes. That's nice. Nice and choppy, but the quicker your time frame is, the more efficient your speech has to be. The comments, the questions, all of that, ums and ahs have to disappear, and you have to be extremely succinct. So if you want to practice, try Joe Rogan's 4-hour marathon, and then try to weed it down to a 20, 30 minutes. That's I think 20, 30 is the sweet spot. You'll see in the States, they have NPR, which is National Public Radio. They often do 20 minutes. It's nice. It's high level. You'll learn something. And it's not too taxing on the mind because you're probably doing dishes or yelling at other cars on the road, right? You doing something else.
Right.
That's where it is. So it really
Yeah,
depends.
that's
Beyond that,
helpful.
hard to say.
Yeah. One of the things so me starting this live series is the culmination of a lot of different moving parts in my own life and kind of thinking about what I want to do on LinkedIn and where I'm at with things. One of the big pieces recently, like in the last maybe month or two, has been watching what Trevor's done with 344 Live. It's 16 minutes. It's short. It's punchy. I literally listen in while doing the dishes. Like it's almost without fail that's when my family is finishing dinner. My wife brings the kids upstairs to get them ready for bed. I go into kitchen cleaning duty. And so while I'm wiping counters or cleaning dishes, I listen to Trevor and his guest for 16 minutes.
Yeah.
And it's perfect. So I do like that kind of punchy short quality. I think you're right that like it really forces you to kind of boil things down. So I'm leaning more towards the 30-minute mark because I think that's a good way to kind of rein the value in, so to speak, have it kind of concentrated. And then it also gives you less to filter through when you're going back looking for sound bites, which I plan to do as well.
Right. Like this bigger the celebrity, there's others. I listen to Mark Maron. He's a comedian in the West Coast at WTF podcast, and he interviewed people like Jim Carrey and Barack Obama. You want an hour because they just talk, and he takes the celebrity out and just makes them a person, and you're just shit talking and talking about their drug addictions or whatever it is, right? They're real people now, but I don't want to say you're going to get people that people don't care about, but they just want to get the information, the what's in it for me, and get out. So if you can make it short and punchy and effective, like get a couple of ahas, get people inspired, and then get some more followers, and off you go. That's probably the big ticket item for you until you get to the point where you're LinkedIn famous and you have one of those influencer tags or something, and then you do whatever you please. But for that, you just try to rein people in with that aha and that value and say, hey, I'm amazing. I provide you excellent value, and off you go. That's just my 2 cents.
No, I agree with you. I think that the other thing is the live space on LinkedIn is pretty loaded right now. There's a lot of people doing lives, and I don't want to come in starting one and then try and ask for an hour from people right off the bat.
Fair.
I mean, and that includes the guests. Like, I mean, a lot of the folks that I'm going to ask, I know they'll be busy, and I don't want to take too much time. I'd rather us focus on trying to get in and get out. But I do like your point there, though, that there is something to be said about those hour-long 2-hour-long marathons where you really have a chance to explore a lot of stuff. But I think you have to have the audience to support that too.
Sure. Are you going to do all this series on video? Going to record it or just audio?
Yeah, I'll do all of them as live events, and
Okay.
then so I'll stream it to YouTube too. I'll save it there because part of the goal here is to, and this is again like totally inspired by Trevor, to do the thing where at the end we get some kind of sound bite that we can snip and say, okay, this is a ready-made piece of content. I'm just going to prompt you to give us something that's good that we can share as, I can put on the YouTube channel, you can share as a LinkedIn post, that will perhaps not be immediately world-changing, but at least be thought-provoking, right?
Yeah. Are you going to monetize the lives?
That's further down the road. I don't know.
Nobody does yet. I'm
Yeah.
even for Luke and those who have billions of followers, they're not. There's something that they're doing to create a buzz, but I'm surprised that they're not monetizing, and getting unless they are, and just getting a fan base. I'm not too sure of their agenda yet, which is curious. So we'll see. But if you are, then I'll be excited to see that how you can make that play.
Yeah,
That's a space
I'm
that's
curious how that would work in the long term. Yeah, I like that Sam's talking about being the strange one that loves a live stream that's long. You're not unusual, Sam. I've actually talked to several people that really like the long ones. I forget if it was the random live stream that I did last week or whatever, Elijah, where you were talking to us about us all being old people.
Not gonna let that down. Uh-oh.
No, we'll keep that one around. That was good times. But somebody had brought up that I think Melissa Houston had actually popped in on that, and she was talking about how she does her audio event on Saturday mornings. It's morning in the US, and that's like a 2-hour audio event where people kind of come and go, and it works really nice. Like a lot of people love it.
It's almost like you're those things you do with a manager. Okay, I'm having an open hour or something. You can come in, address your problems with your team, and then they just kind of open house style, drop in, drop out. Maybe for Sam, because she listens to somebody, that you get that rapport with somebody. You get in there and they've captured you, right? So you feel like you're part of their crew, their tribe, or their family, right? You're just chatting at the dinner table, just shooting shit for the afternoon, having some coffees or some funny stuff, and you're having a great time. And that's the magic. But for people that it's different, right? Some people just want to hang out and chat all day, and others actually just want to get in and get out. So kind of interesting that Sam was able to give you the polar opposite effect.
I think it depends on the timing too. I feel like on Saturdays there's a lot more of a chill kind of hangout vibe. I mean, I'm going to do this at this time slot. I'm going to do it at Wednesdays at noon Eastern, and that's going to be a time when I think a lot of people they're during their work day, so they may have just a little bit of time to pop in and check something out and then move on. East Coast, it's lunchtime. In Europe, it's going to be kind of that end of the workday thing. For folks on the West Coast, it's going to be earlier in the morning, so it might be catching something kind of quick before getting their day started.
Are you going to cater to the people who say I can't make it because it's midnight at my time zone, or are you just going to try and hit the most and hope for the best?
Yeah, you can't. I mean, you can't make everybody happy. We got 24 time zones, going around the world. What am I going to do? I did.
Oh, sorry. Does Restream have time shifting like they do in cable television? Can you just 3 hours later and I'll just select it this time, but that would work for you.
I don't know. I mean, I do know that since it's a LinkedIn Live, it'll stay and be a replayable event. And then I do want to, keep it on YouTube. So it's something that can be watched kind of in perpetuity. I do also have plans to try and repurpose these as a podcast later, so they'll be accessible that way too. But for the actual broadcast, the first factor was, my own timing. Like if I can't show up, it doesn't work. But then also like a few people that I talked to that I was interested in having come on were like, well, for me, if you do it at 9 a.m., 10 a.m. Eastern, like that's too early for me because I'm on the West Coast. All right, so let me shift it a little bit later. Noon works for me still. It's a little later than I'd like to be, but it's still okay. But it's not so early that it's prohibitive for them. And then once you get kind of further out from that, there's just not much you can do about it. Well, I have got to get running. This is the half-hour time span I was going to run in. I've got a daddy duty I've got to get back to. Elijah, I
Absolutely.
appreciate you jumping on with me. It was nice to have an impromptu co-host.
Thanks for
Um,
just asking and being open
yeah,
to it. And hopefully, I could sound smart in the process and help you out, make you look good. That's what it's all about. So,
well, I think
thanks.
it's a group effort, right? I think we're
Yeah,
both doing okay. Yeah,
sure.
and we'll talk more about getting a more serious conversation at this time. So, although this was pretty serious too, this was a good conversation. I appreciate it. Yeah,
It's too serious. I don't know. We'll find the balance. It'll be
yeah.
happy, and I'll
Well,
private chat
yeah,
naughty stuff so
right.
people
And
can't see it.
the
It's fine.
shenanigans work better in the evening. I feel like.
Yeah. You can have happy hour at lunch. We can make it a thing. It's all good.
Yeah, good, good. All right. Well, thanks, Elijah. Everybody watching. Thanks, you guys. Hunter, see you. Bye, Sam. Bye, Sam. Rebecca, if you're still there. See you later.